On this computer. All right, so I think the recording is on progress. So good afternoon, Ragheed.
Good afternoon, man.
How are
How's it
you
going?
doing?
Doing well.
All
Nothing
right.
much.
So
What
first
about
of
you,
all,
brother?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I want to thank you for joining my, let's say, today's interview. I don't want to call it interview. That's a kind of a friendly talk, let's say.
It is not. Yeah.
Of course, it's not. So just I want to give a brief information. We both are colleagues. We work for Skudal University, but you teach as a faculty lecturer, and I'm the testing
Mm,
coordinator of English department. So somehow we can say that the department that we work are different in spite of being so close. What a paradox. All right,
mm,
I think in today's talk we can give some friends some hints and some suggestions, or we can share some experience that we have about teaching in Turkey. By teaching, I mean specifically
mm,
teaching English. And you
mm.
have the background of teaching in private schools, language institutes, and university. So I think that can be a very big help for all those friends all around the world who are thinking of relocating and moving to Turkey and looking for a job, what kind of steps they should take initially before arriving, after arriving. These are the questions that I think at least we can share all the things that we have experienced in past 7, 8 years of living in Turkey with our friends. So
Mhm.
first, I wonder if you could start talking about yourself, Ragid, and then we can go through more detailed questions.
Sure. Basically, I've been working here for almost like 4 years and a half, something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my experiences started first as, like a private teacher. You know, like when you start teaching, obviously you will start with the building your experience,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So in Turkey, uh, like giving private lessons, actually, they are good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but the thing is this, like it's a bit challenging in some cases because some students they have very specific requirement. Like they tell you
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like, ah, I don't want to learn this, I don't want to learn that, even though like you have built your own curriculum to
I
teach them
see.
private lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But actually it is kind of good because I built my experiences with people who don't speak English. So it is like as their mother language. It's a bit
Mm-hmm.
challenging, but at the same time, it's a very good experience because it can give you the push to maybe find new methods of
Mm-hmm.
teaching
Mm-hmm.
students, like in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
English in a ways that they can understand you very well. Yeah, I started like very humble beginnings. By the way, it was
So for
just
you, the
basic.
beginning was working like a freelancer.
Yeah, most likely. Like I was freelancer. I was, uh, posting about my, like lessons and
Mm-hmm.
my experiences. Like what can I teach, stuff like that.
I see.
Yeah. Later
All
it
right.
grows to
Yeah.
different places.
Well,
What about you?
you moved from Dubai to Turkey, and
Mm,
then after moving to Turkey, you started finding jobs and positions. So as you
mm,
said, it started from having a couple of private lessons.
yeah.
Most probably, when you say it's good, you mean financially it's good. I can understand it as a teacher. And then
Yes.
later on, for past 4 years and a half, I think you are fully occupied and you're working with a university. So maybe we
Yeah.
can take a further step and talking about how to apply for positions like university teacher, like even private school teacher, and also language schools or institutes.
Mm. Um, Generally, like applying for like jobs in Turkey, it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of a bit different, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like in other countries in Europe or like United States, whatever, that you have to like this LinkedIn, for example. It is the
Mm-hmm.
main source of finding jobs and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But
Mm-hmm.
here is very different actually. In
Mm-hmm.
here they have their own websites, like
Yes,
Turkish
local
websites that
ones.
exactly they are
Mm-hmm.
much more reliable for them and almost all the people who wants to find a job they use them like LinkedIn also it's used here but not as efficient as the the website that they have in
Mm-hmm.
Turkey like the
Mm-hmm.
Turkish
Mm-hmm.
websites.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I started like that, basically, posting about it, finding jobs with them. And it
Okay.
was very easy, by the way.
Yeah, I think I can add something to what you said. Well, that's completely and quite accurate what you said.
Mm,
Their priority is focusing on their local job seeking websites. And we
absolutely.
have some names like career.net, like Yeni Birish, many other ones. And even recently, LinkedIn is becoming very popular. But what I've noticed is they preferably go through those CVs and resumes that they have an address from Turkey and a phone number, a Turkish phone number.
Hmm.
So they know that they're not going to get stuck with paperwork to take you from your hometown to Turkey and then apply to get work permit if it is one of the options. That's why I think if you're located in Turkey, well, then you will have a better opportunities. You let's say I can change the sentence and say you can easier get a job even if it is a
Exactly. I
part
was
time.
going to fix it for you.
Yeah.
It's not like not possible because I knew people who are working here and they've been, outside of Turkey. It's
Yeah.
not about, I think the majority of people, like, obviously they are residing in here. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
Hmm.
It's much easier for them to find a job. And it's
Hmm.
also easier for the people themselves who are looking for a job and also for the, the employers, like the
Hmm.
organization that you're working for. It's also easier for them to have a meeting face to face and talk about
Hmm.
whatever necessary requirements they need for the job, you know,
I see.
all these. Yeah, yeah. So it depends. It depends.
I see.
Yeah,
If we could make a good vision by making a clear differentiation between working as a teacher for private schools
mm,
and the university, what can we say, Ragheed? How different they are? Well, technically speaking, of course, they are completely different. But by
yeah.
considering the nature of teaching, how different that might be.
I see. Well, the language schools, obviously, from the perspective of language school, it is much simpler. You know, they have very basic, like, syllabus and curriculum. They have, specific book publisher that they deal with, like even the same book they use most of the time.
Mhm.
Um, and also dealing with the work in language schools, it is much more flexible, actually, if you ask
Mhm.
me. Um, like when I was working in language schools before, like I was really surprised about like how simple can work be, but at the same time, it can be a bit challenging
Mhm.
because language schools, they don't give these intensive exams, so they can decide about the level of the students. Okay, so sometimes it can be inaccurate, and you can
Mhm.
face some difficulties with people who are placed in a level that they shouldn't be. But regardless, the system is very well organized. But of course, not all language schools are good. So keep that in
Yeah.
mind. Like some
Yeah.
language schools, they can't be very, very, like, to be honest, not
In,
very well
indisciplined.
organized. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
not disciplined
Also,
ones. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's no organization, no ethical treatment whatsoever. So, but some language schools, they tend to be very good. Like
Mhm.
they literally have the same uh, curriculum as universities, almost not the
Mhm.
same, but almost the same.
Mhm.
Um, but language schools, since it's language school, it's a kind of small business, so you're not going to be expected to be compensated very well as the university, obviously.
Yeah.
In university, on the other hand, it's much more complex. I think, like it is a much more comprehensive detail. Like
Mhm.
you need to
Mhm.
know. In each university, they have their own system too. By the way, like you need
Mhm.
to follow up with this. Um, but the
Let's
complexity of work is
yeah, but sorry for interruption. Let's talk about universities maybe in our upcoming episodes. Let's stay focused on well, teaching for language schools. My question is it possible for a teacher to make the financial demands end by just teaching for languages, working as freelancer?
language school. Ah, no, no, no. It is not possible at all. To be
Mhm.
honest, language school, as I mentioned, they compensate in a limited wage.
Mhm.
So you cannot consider language school as the main source of your income. Okay. language schools, they are built for, to be honest, like part-time
Yeah.
teachers. Okay, like they want extra income, to compensate with their needs.
Mm-hmm.
But when we talk about as the main income, it is not recommended at all. Like I do not recommend anyone in any like position in the language school. It's not recommended.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. I see. I see.
for me, it is better to have the academic type of being in a university.
I
Like
see.
is better. Yeah.
I think our short talk was not that much, let's say, extended by details, but it was good enough to give our friends a vision and a hint about the teaching, finding teaching positions in Turkey. Maybe in our upcoming videos, we can go through how to apply, what kind of certificate and documents do they need
Sure.
to find a reliable organization to apply, I mean, to work full time with, of course, good support. All right, so I think we can continue making our videos later on. I know you have listened, even I have listened, so we can call it a
Yep.
day. Let's finish today's talk, then we will continue later on. Thank you very much, Ragheed, for joining today's talk. I really appreciate it.
No problem, brother. Take
Have a
care.
nice lesson. Bye bye.